Thanks, Minister. There have been significant concerns raised by many governments, not least the United States, about the risk that the upcoming election in Bangladesh will not be transparent, free and fair, and representations have been made by those governments. What representations have been made by the Australian government to the Bangladesh government in that regard?
Michelle Chan, Deputy Secretary South and Southeast Asia. Australia also has regularly raised our concerns and advocated in support of free and fair elections. I'll let my colleague, Mr Cowan, give you more detail.
Sure, thank you. Gary Cowan, South and Central Asia Division. There's been two lines of advocacy, Senator. One is a consistent line of advocacy for the government of Bangladesh to protect freedom of expression as a pillar of democracy in that country. And the second is regular representations regarding the forthcoming election to be free, fair, inclusive and non-violent. And as Deputy Secretary Chan said, we've raised that with ministers, senior government officials. We've joined statements where appropriate with other countries. We've engaged the Bangladesh High Commissioner here in Canberra. Specifically, if that's what you're asking, we have raised that with, for instance, the Principal Secretary in the Prime Minister's office in Bangladesh. We've made representations to the Minister of Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs. Also in Bangladesh, we've made representations to the Foreign Secretary. Minister Watts, Assistant Foreign Minister Watts, on his visit in May to Bangladesh also raised this issue. We've also raised it as part of our regular senior officials talks exchange with Bangladesh, and we've also raised it here on one occasion here in Canberra at least.
Did Assistant Minister Watts in his visit to Bangladesh raise concerns about the mass opposition arrests and the violence by government and officials and entities related to the government on opposition leaders and activists? Was that squarely raised by Assistant Minister Watts? And if so, with who?
I won't go to the specifics of Minister Watts's discussions, but what I can say is that, the issue of free, fair elections was raised by Minister Watts during his travel there, and we have, in the representations that I've outlined to you, consistently made the point that elections should be free, fair, participatory and non-violent.
The United States in May raised concerns about the potential for elections not to be free and fair, and indeed made an amendment to their visa policy, which provides that if any government official or a related official acts contrary to the requirements for a free and fair election, that they would be refused entry to the United States. Is Australia aware of those actions being taken by the United States?
Senator, yes, we're aware of those actions. I don't think we would make a comment on the visa policy of another country. We have not taken a similar action to introduce a visa restriction policy in relation to Bangladeshis.
Has the government considered whether or not such actions, or by the Australian government, would be a useful tool in the goal that I think we all share to encourage Bangladesh to have free, fair and open elections? Are those kinds of measures on the table?
Senator, I think the actions that we've taken so far in the sense of being a very broad and consistent set of representations on those issues and on other issues in Bangladesh is other measures that we've taken.
All right. This is a matter I hope that's squarely on the agenda of the High Commission and will continue to be raised until the elections are completed?
Yes, that's correct.